In this video, we are going to look at how to register all the users on your Skooly EdTech application. So I'm going to log in as the super admin now. I've put in my username and password. So here I log in. When I log in, I can see this dashboard where I see my username, the total number of students. There is no student here. Total user, of course, I'm the only user now, and there is no class register. So for us to go to the main admin setting, we need to use the menu by the left here under main settings. So just click on main setting. You remember you are using it as a super admin, so you can access this dashboard, this super admin dashboard. So at this point now, we open the user under authentication and authorization, open users. You can see that I have only one user rather here. And that user is a staff and is active. So for us to start onboarding students and staff in our portal, the first thing you need to do is to create a username for them. In the case of a school, you need a student identification. That is student identification, a kind of their admission number. So the admission number you are going to use determine what you have been using already. If you have a system in place that you are using already, a naming convention in place, just you can stick to that, but don't let the username be too long that they cannot remember. So you can use maybe the school initial, the year of admission, and then some other 3-digit code. So we are going to start registering users now. Remember I said for anyone to have access to your application, either staff or student, you need to first register them as users. So let's register the first user now, and it's going to be a student. So just go up here, you see add user. So I'm going to add a user. I'm going to call it student1. Student1. So I'll create a temporary password for that user. So with that, I can save. We have just created a new user called student1. I assume that I'm going to eventually register this user as a student. So let's give him a name. Let's call Adeola Mary. We can leave the email address blank, but if you have the email address, we assume that you are doing it live. So if you have the email address, you can just enter it straight here. The permission, you don't need to do anything on the permission, because if you should click staff or super user, that means the user will have access to this particular dashboard, which is not supposed to be. But you can make the user to be active. Active simply means that the user can log in and access his or her dashboard. But if you make it inactive, the user can no more log in with a password. That is the way to disable any user you don't want to have access to the dashboard. So I'm going to click it to remain active. Then you just scroll down. Never bother yourself about all that you are seeing on the screen before the last buttons. So I'm going to save, and you can see that we have created our first user. Remember, we didn't enter email. That's why we don't have email address here. And then the name we enter and this. So we already have a user. That is the way to register user. So the first thing to do is to ensure that you register everyone that is going to use the portal first as users. If you scroll down to where profile is, by the left side of this menu in the modules, you will see user, you will see profile. Immediately I create this student, a profile is automatically created for that user. I just opened the profile page now. You can see student already has a profile. There is an automatically generated code, a 6-digit code that the system generates even for that user. This code, it is for the system identification. So we have the student one, and you can see that the user type is student. When you are registering anybody on this portal, the default user type is going to give that person is a student in the profile. So I'm going to go to our super admin, which is Fiscus, and I'm going to change it. Just look at it. I'm going to change the user type to admin, because that is what it's supposed to be. Then I will say it's activated. Then under student, since we intend this person to be student, so we'll leave it at student. But if we don't intend it to be student, we can click here. You will see the profile information. We shall come to all this later. But you will see that the user type is student. We have different type of user: staff, academic, non-academic staff, student, parent, and admin. So this particular student is this particular user is student. Like I said, that every user you are registering for the first time, we give them user type of student. So activate, and then we go. So that is the way to register all the users you want to have access to this portal. The user you want to have access to this portal, you must first onboard them as users. Then in the next video, we will look at how to onboard them as students. So we have registered our first user now. So let's just register a teacher also along. So we're going to say, okay, we are on the profile here. Let's go back to users. So let us register a teacher now. So we are going to say teacher 1. Let's call this teacher 1 also, and create a temporary password. So we save this and call the teacher Michael Apoja. Maybe it's Michael at whatever. Michael at gmail.com. Let's assume this is the email of this stuff. So we save it. So at this point, we've been able to register a student username and a teacher username. Remember, you are registering everybody first. So that is the way to register your user. So if you have your information with you, all the users that you intend to use the portal, you can just register them in a row at once. Or as you have new user coming into the portal, you register them as admin this way. Thank you.